So I'm going to show you how to do this, but I want you to know that there is something in the book and there's something in the course that you can actually look at. First, in the book on page 378, go look at the count and COUNTIF functions, because what you're going to be using is what's called the COUNTIF function. In the course itself, what you can actually do is, let me bring it up here. Again, I really encourage you, even though they're not required, to go and do the skills-based training. If you go into the skills-based training, now it's popped up really big. Again, this is kind of a one-to-one to the book. So what you can do in the skills-based training is if you click, let me bring this down here. You click on view all questions, and again, there's the count using the COUNTIF function, and go ahead and launch that. This will launch this particular question, and one of the things you can do is use the learning aids, the read, the watch, but the practice one is probably a good one because this will then step you through.
Click cell A10. Type oak trees.
All right, that's what I got to do. So anyway, that's silly, but you do the oak trees. Let me get over there. So this is in the simulation. Hit the arrow key over to make it stick. Then it talks about applying the function that will count only the oak trees. And again, you can use the practice learning aid to figure out how to do it.
Click cell B10.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. And then I'm actually going to go over here. Let's see what I'm getting here. Okay. So I got my spreadsheet here. So the first thing that's very important is hopefully you've followed the directions on how to use the flash fill. Because without doing that, you wouldn't be able to do what I'm going to be doing now. So hopefully you've gotten through at least the flash fill, which would then separate out the category, the item number from the category, because without that it's impossible to do this. So I don't know if you've done that yet. Let me do a bunch of Control C's and go back and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to go through the flash fill. If you've already done it, then that's great, but it's important to have these separated. So what it asks you to do is to highlight both of those, go to Insert, and then you add new sheets. Then you call this column item number, and you do this on both sheets, on the bulbs and the trees sheets here. And you call this one category. Then what you do is you type in 1239 here. You click the little place there. You go up to this little thing here, which is the fill, and you do a flash fill. And you'll see what it does is it's really a nice feature to separate out data. Here, I'm going to go ahead and type in daffodils. I think that's how you spell it. Again, do that. Go up here, flash fill. So that way, that separates it out. Then it asks you to go ahead and delete this. Then it asks you to go ahead and cut this for some reason and paste it over here. Then delete this cell, and then you select all the cells and you go to the format and you do the auto fit columns. That's the first step. Then it asks you to do something with the sum here to sum up the total, all the quantity. But what I want to skip to is the types, the toolet types. So what you have to do here is use again the COUNTIF function. So I'm going to go ahead to formulas, more function statistical. I'm going to go down to COUNTIF. This just shows you some of the power of this product. Then it's going to ask you for the range. Now you could type in the range, but what I would like to do, oops, sorry, let me go back here, control. I did the wrong column. This is the column they want, cut. This is the column they want, pasted. Get rid of this and do this. Sorry about that. Back to home, format, autofill. Alright, so now back to the formula. Okay, COUNTIF. All right, so now you can actually type in the range, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the column here. So what this count does is it looks at the column and then it says if the column has tulips in it, then count that. And when I click OK, it should give me 5. So that'll tell me that there are 5 tulips types in this list. And you got to do the same thing with the tree one here. You go to evergreen type. You have to separate this out. You have to do that same thing. Hopefully that helps, and I hope you understand how this all works. Sorry about for the 5-minute video, but I wanted to make sure you had a good understanding of this.